Yes, the brain. Brought to us by the BetPark Sportsbook Casino app. We love the BetPark Sportsbook Casino app. We don't like the NBA Finals. It is now down to Boston in 4 or 5, dude. Sucks.
Yeah, it does. Anthony, I got to ask you two things before we start. Number one, I heard you talking with Salisbury, and he said, you asked him, what team do I think, you asked him, what team's 500 you can make a run? Anthony, I have a team for you that I feel very good about for all your listeners. If you want to take a shot, this team to make the playoffs, they were like 7-1 to make the playoffs. And if they made the playoffs, hear me out here. I'm just
AL or NL?
NL, I would not want to play this team. Now, first you're going to say, what are you talking about? But then
Padres?
when I break it down, no, you're not going to get the team because you're going to be like, what's he talking about? But which team has the best pitching staff in the National League, maybe? Go
ahead.
Pittsburgh. If you have to face Skeens, Jones, and Keller, all three of those guys can pitch shutouts. I'm just going to say, you want a team that can Skeens is the best pitcher in baseball. The guy's already the best pitcher. You can argue with me, laugh at me. I think that guy
I love Skeens. Listen, I love Skeens, and I like Jones. He's got good stuff. Here's the problem with that.
Keller's been great too.
He's good.
Anthony, I'm giving you like a 100-to-1 shot. I'm not saying some team at 3-to-1 odds. I'm giving you a mega power ticket that I don't think is dead on arrival. I really don't.
My question would be, will they shut down Skeens, right? Like what they do with the arms. And like, I don't know that they're right. Like if it was next year, I would say yes, right? I thought their bats would be better. Their bats have been horrible. What happened to O'Neal Cruz? He's doing nothing.
No,
Sawinski, who had a little left-handed pop, he stinks. You got McCutcheon, who I love Kutch, but he's 1,000 years old, batting leadoff.
No, but again, Anthony, that's a team in my I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
hear you. Can win a bunch of 3-2 games in the playoffs because
and Jones
I really
still,
do like the three starting.
He's still not like he needs another year. Like I think you're a year early on them.
No, look, let me make this clear. They're going to be my team next year. You're absolutely right. They're going to be like my all-in investment next year. Because I think their future is incredibly bright. But let me make this clear, Anthony. I'm not predicting them by a country mile. But what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a 100-to-1 long shot that I don't think is absolutely impossible, I think they can make the playoffs. And if you're facing that team in the playoffs, I don't care if you're the Dodgers, the Phillies, are you happy to be facing Jared Jones and Paul Skeens? You can't tell me you're happy to be
ridiculous.
Them.
Jones, I like Jones, but he got touched up last start. I watched it. You know, he's got great stuff. He's just got to mature a little bit.
That's just crazy long shot. Anyway, and then the next thing I want to ask you, Anthony, I love getting your takes on things because I respect your opinion so much in the sports world. You obviously know Brian Windhorst, right?
Yeah.
And did you see his take on Luka Doncic last night?
I did not. Anthony graduated 8th grade last night. So
congratulations!
Yeah, a little 8th grade action. So I didn't see Windy.
Awesome. Congratulations to you and your family. That's amazing. But no,
Thanks,
I wanted to just say they had Windhorst on, and did you see the Luka Doncic the play he fouled out on, Anthony?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see his 6th foul?
Yeah.
He ripped Luka like I've never. He basically called him a loser. He's like, horrible play by Luka. He cost him the game. All he does is whine. This team will never win with him until he proves his attitude. I'm going to ask you a serious question. Maybe I'm just off base and I need to check myself. I thought that was 100 out of 100 foul on when someone goes like this to you.
Yeah, it's a foul.
How is it a foul on Luka Doncic? Yeah. I didn't.
No, you know what? Windy's a part of the whole American basketball. They hate the Euro. They think the Euro whines. The whole foul, crying about fouls. I mean, stop. They all cry. They all whine. Yeah, does he do it a little bit more demonstrative? The Europeans, yeah. But it's to me, I slough it off as the hater of the Euro. And I think he's an idiot to think that they'll never win with Luka. The only reason why they're there is because of Luka. And Luka's played great. Hey, Kyrie finally showed up last night, and nobody know their answers. I mean, that's just nonsense. I've always questioned about when he talks about the game itself. I mean, he's a good reporter, but breaking down the game, I don't know.
Yeah, watch his rant on Luka. I mean, it was usually
you know what?
These national guys
he's such an agenda.
Like
these hot takers and agenda,
right.
And I am completely disinterested in what Windy has to say about the game.
Okay.
Do agents feed him stuff? Yeah. But when he's talking about the game, I could care less. I mean, honestly, it's just nonsense. Like, let me rant about Luka. Let me go hate on Luka. Stop. Luka's a great player. I mean, what are you, nuts? Give me a break. That's why I think it's nonsense. I mean, a bunch of hot air.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because, again, I had the same feeling, and I want to make sure.
And it was a foul. Does he cry and want? Yeah, I thought. Give me a break, but guy's a great player.
But I really thought, again, no joke, and again, did Boston deserve to win the game? 100%. Did the refs cost Dallas? Absolutely not. But did I think? One of my things is when I see a guy Brown just gave him a forearm shiver and knocked him out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand. I thought I understood basketball. I don't understand how when an offensive player blatantly initiates the contact. It was like the old Trae Young thing when Reggie Miller, when they would jump into you and get those garbage calls. I thought Brown. I thought Stevie Wonder would have saw that, but again, whatever. I missed it, I guess. But he just blamed Luka for that foul. Basically, literally called him a loser. I want you to watch it. When you
I'm not a fan, and so that will just make me more of not a fan. So I don't care what he says about anything. So other than if he has a report because some agent fed him information, I mean, that's kind of my view on Windy. I mean, all due respect. I really can care. I mean, honestly, listen, we're all doing stuff and we're all having a thing. And it's like whatever hot take but there's an anti-Euro thing that goes on. So whatever.
I was really surprised to hear. That's why I respect.
LeBron probably told him to say that. So that's probably what that's about.
Yes, sir.
Any thoughts on hockey tonight?
I mean, look, obviously, must win here for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, emotion's going to be there, whatnot. Look, I think Edmonton can win a game here. I do. Now, I know clearly through 2 games, Florida has been the better team. But, again, maybe I'm just giving a little bit too much credence to what Edmonton's done after their slow start. I don't think they're going to do what had happened to Dallas and fall behind 3-0. I think Edmonton wins tonight. I do. But, obviously, I have a lot of respect for Florida, and Florida has looked like the better team through 2 games.
I know. We're all rooting oil, just for the justice of hockey, right? Dude, you'll love this. We went back, we were looking at Edmonton, right? It was the Oilers 1985. Edmonton scored 44 goals against the Blackhawks in 6 games. In 6-game series, they scored 44 goals.
That's that's almost impossible.
Is that unbelievable? We were talking about how VG went back and brought up the Edmonton that series, and that Edmonton team, there'll never be
best
a collection.
Team of all time. Best team of all time.
That's Gretzky, people talk, Messier, Coffey, Glenn Anderson, Asa Tikkanen.
Yeah, and Paul Coffey, you said, Grant Fuhr goal. It's interesting. We always talk about who would have won, like the Bulls or the Warriors or what the Celtics dynasties. In hockey, Anthony, again, like you just said, they won the 4 cups in 5 years. I don't think, and it's funny, the Islanders had a dynasty right before that, but I don't think anyone can argue that Edmonton team was by a country mile the greatest team. I don't think it's even ever. I don't think if you almost combine the rest of pro hockey, how it was like the Olympics, you have if the rest of the non-Edmonton Oilers played against the Oilers, they probably would have won the Stanley Cup just as much, maybe not 4 to 5, but at least half the time. They were that good.
Well, it's funny because we know about Gretzky, the greatest of all time. He's the NHL GOAT, but they had Messier. And Messier's a top 5 all-time player.
what about
you
Curry and
arguably
Anderson?
had two of the top 5 all-time players in the sport.
Well, Paul Coffey, Glenn Anderson, Yari Curry.
Yeah.
Like they actually, Anthony, I got to be honest, they probably had at that time 6 of the best 10 players in the NHL.
Yeah. It was
goalie. I mean, and Fuhrer was the number 1 goalie at that time. It was just an embarrassment of riches. So
and how about that Glenn Sather behind the bench?
The coach. Yeah, Glenn Sather, slats.
Slats. Wow. That's a great bust out. Give me some slats.
Yeah.
That's
exactly,
awesome.
Man. Exactly. Yeah, but that was
fun. I'm actually looking forward to the game. Like I love this. This is a great weekend, right? Father's Day weekend. You got, other than the NBA, which is such a disappointment, but you got tonight, and then you got the U.S. Open that started this morning, and then Phillies Orioles is a great, that's great baseball. Baltimore, you know it better than anybody, one of the best teams in that American League. They're a great team.
It's interesting, Anthony. They're only they're winning every game, and they're still 3 games behind the Yankees. They have to be what the heck? I mean, what do we have to do? But it's interesting. The Yankees, Anthony, I mean, it's with the way their hitting's going, the way their pitching's going, then it's you know what? Guess what? We're giving you Garrett Cole back. That's just going to be a really, really hard train to stop, in my opinion.
No, I know. And listen, I mean, the Orioles have bats too.
I made a big bet on the Anthony on the Orioles to win the World Series earlier in the year at 15-1. It's not that I don't like the bet, I do, but I thought they were going to win that division. But right now, I mean, I think the Yankees, and that's funny, I bet the Yankees about a week ago getting 7.5-1 odds to finish with the best record in baseball. How crazy is that? 7.5-1 to finish with the best record. Right now, they have the best record. 7.5-1 again. I think it's going to be them, the Dodgers, or the Phillies. We'll see how it plays out, but I think the Yankees really look tough to me.
Yeah, they did.
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you know what's interesting about them is that I mean, obviously Soto and Judge, the best 1-2 punch when you think about it, right? But, after that, the lineman Stanton is not the Giancarlo Stanton he was back in the day. Rizzo's okay, right? Volpe is a good leadoff hitter. But that lineup, other than those two, it's amazing. They're decent, right? You got Cabrera or LeMahieu.
It's not stacked. It's not stacked. No, I think you're right about that. But here's the thing. No, but the pitching. I mean, Luis Gil has been a revelation. Who's been absolutely amazing for them. Stroman's been very consistent. And again, this is one thing I didn't see, Anthony. I'll be honest. And I spoke to some media people who told me, and I trusted them, but they that what's his name? Carlos Rondon. They're he doesn't have the New York persona, kind of like when Sonny Gray didn't do well there, or when Ed Whitson didn't do well there, or
Ed
certain guys struggled. He's
how about that, VG?
Name from the past, Ed Whitson, man, yeah. So basically, I was all right. I kind of wrote off Rodon, but Rodon's been real. Proudly. But anyway, I wrote off Rodon, but Rodon's been really good for them. And again, now you're going to add a dominant starter in Garrett Cole. Again, the Phillies are a very similar team to me.
I know. I was about to say
similar teams.
I was just about to say it. Could you imagine a Phillies-Yankees World Series between these two?
Incredible.
That would be awesome. Just put aside the Phillies and Philadelphia and New York and the Yankees, but these two clubs going head to head would be outrageous. It would be a great series. Really
incredible series. By the way, Anthony, because I haven't followed it quite as close as I normally because I'm out of town. JT, how long is he out for? I know he had the surgery.
Well, they're saying 4 or 5 weeks. They're saying 4 to 5 weeks, but I mean that injury could last up to 2 months. So 4 or 5 weeks seems to me a little optimistic.
But you know what? I got to tell you, Anthony, I'm just trying to keep it real. Him being out for, let's say, 2 months, it's at the end of the day, we have learned. Everyone knows. Dare I say, it doesn't make a difference?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, obviously you want him there, but it's like when Aaron Jones got hurt for the Packers. Then he was healthy for the playoffs, and you saw he was running for 130 yards a game because Aaron Jones was never healthy for the playoffs.
Fresh legs.
Time he was healthy, fresh legs. I mean, listen, catcher, the most demanding position in the world.
Beat you up.
And I'm just saying, okay, maybe he comes back. He's like, I actually feel okay. I'm not gonna. It'll be not as hard for me. So I don't look at it. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna win the division. So to me, again, not that I'm poo-pooing it. Obviously, no one wants to see an injury to one of your best players, but I don't think this is like something that's really necessarily even going to be that big of a negative. As long as long-term, he actually is going to be okay after the surgery.
Yeah, I agree. I'm completely with you. All right, what do you got? Anything today? At Brad'sBestBets.com, at Brad's Best Bets on Twitter X.
Yeah, Anthony, I got two things for you. Joe Ryan, run line minus a 1.5 runs, going against Luis Medina of Oakland. Joe Ryan's been absolutely terrific. One of the best pitchers in baseball, Cy Young candidate. Laying $1.10 on Parks right now, laying a 1.5. I have a team in Oakland that's 29th out of 30 runs scored, going against one of the best, call him 7 pitchers in the American League. Don't expect Oakland to score many runs, maybe 0 to 2. And listen, Luis Medina is not good. He's not a good pitcher. He's a 4A pitcher. Twins 9th in the league in runs scored. I think there's, should be like a 6 to 2 kind of game. You can lay minus 250 with the money line, but I'd rather always lay a 1.5 for a team when I have a situation where I think my team will shut you down, and I think I'll score off of your team. And I think I have both those situations. Laying $1.10, if I'm wrong, it's not going to kill me too much. If they win by a run, I'll take my medicine. That's number one. Number two, look, the Braves, give them credit. They traded for Reynaldo Lopez, or they traded for him or signed him as a free agent. They got him, and they converted him into a starter. He's been terrific, absolutely terrific. 11 starts this year, Anthony. He's gone over 4.5 Ks. 8 of those 11, but actually really should be 9 of 11 because one of the games he left during a rainout. Okay, he's averaging close to 6 strikeouts a game. Very tough matchup against a really good Baltimore team, Anthony, but he's averaging, I say, closer to 6 strikeouts. I would have made this over under 5.5, and we're getting plus 110 on the Park site right now. We're getting odds on this. You can't tell me it's not at least 50-50. Reynaldo Lopez may not, I don't think he's going to get like 7, 8 strikeouts, but I think he gets 5, 6. Give me Reynaldo Lopez, Atlanta Braves, over 4.5 strikeouts against a terrific Baltimore Orioles team.
Love it. Great stuff. As always, Brain. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. The great Brad Feinberg, the Brain.
We all silly like the mayor.